Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on when you're seeing this. Happy Thursday. Today we're going to talk about the third major event in President Jefferson's presidency, and that was the embargo. Before we can get started, though, we have to answer yesterday's question. So the first question is, name one person on the expedition that Jefferson sent out. And can you tell me where was the CNN virtual field trip to yesterday? Okay, so Jefferson and his embargo. So France and Britain are at war. Famously, Napoleon is the leader of France, and both countries were stopping American ships. Britain is stopping ships to check for deserters, and France is stopping ships to make sure that supplies are not getting to Britain. Uh, Funny thing about Britain, they used something called impressment. So you could be sitting at your house, you could be sitting at the local tap room, you could be just walking along the street, and a guy will walk up behind you and knock you as hard as they could in the head and drag you off to a ship. Woke up in the morning and you were at sea. And when that happened, you were at sea for 7 years. And that was called impressment. Happened quite a bit. And a lot of times, like if you were a young husband with a wife and a small child, just too bad, you were on the ship for the next 7 years. The French were much more worried about us supplying goods to England, even though we had a treaty with France. And our country wanted war. They were tired of this boarding our ships. Jefferson didn't want a war. He didn't think we could win a war against either side. So he had what was called an embargo. Now, remember, Jefferson's from the South, so the embargo basically hurt people in the North, especially port cities like Boston. Um, because of the embargo, a lot of people were without jobs. I mean, it's not just the people on the ships that are without jobs. It's people who supply the ships, people who make sales for the ships, people who buy stuff from the ships. All that was gone. And literally, because of the embargo, we had ships rotting in the harbors of like Boston. So at the end of Jefferson's second term, he was a very unpopular president. Yet he kept the United States out of war. So I just want to tell you guys I miss you and thank you for participating in my classes daily. If you know any sixth graders, because right now I only have a couple of sixth graders participating in my YouTube channel. If you know any sixth graders, I know you guys are their heroes. If you'd let them know to please go to Charlie Baldwin, Texas History, and start watching my YouTube channel and start sending the answers to me on C Baldwin at sacbstx.org. Okay, guys, I'll see you later. Thanks a lot.